So of course, what's my #1 favorite crafty tool? Same as yours, I'm sure. Guess what? Mine, my hinges came loose from my MISTI. Not totally broken, don't get me wrong. They just seemed to be, the front cover was moving, I thought, too much. I was worried that it wasn't going to stamp exactly right. And so look, my hubby got, and I've never had a mini, so I got a new original MISTI, and then I received a mini one also. So I was pretty excited about that. And he bought me bar magnets. How awesome is that? Melissa says, don't you talk about my Ranger heat tool. I am bringing it out, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So new MISTIs, yay. #1, if you don't have a MISTI, get a MISTI, especially if you like layering stamps, or sometimes you don't get it right on the first one. Oh, Sheila says, yes, she got a gift card to Michael's. Yes, and then you have coupons, and that's a great place to buy the mono tape, and they might even have some other things that are good. So look there, Sheila. And if you like the Tombow, you know, they sell the Tombow wet adhesive also. MISTIs, #1, hands down, favorite crafty tool. Would not know what to do without them. So here's my MISTI. Let's see. Oh, here's one. This one I know people might think is funny. This never leaves my craft table. It's my Tim Holtz tonic craft pick, and this is so minor, but it's major. I use it like I said, that score tape. I always use it to pick the end up. I use it to poke you know, die cuts out and everything. I use this. You guys will hear me lots of times. I just call it my Pokey Tool. It never leaves my craft table, and I panic when I can't find it. I love this thing. So one of my favorites. Anybody who knows me and has been to a retreat with me knows that my Teflon bone folder goes everywhere with me. I love it. If you know Faye Wynn Jones, from Whimsy and Stamping Bella, she's an amazing Copic colorer. She stole this from me at the Whimsy retreat constantly because she knew I'd always be looking for it if I couldn't find it. She was so funny. But a Teflon bone folder, got it from Amazon. I love this thing. It stays on my craft table. I use it when I use score tape because you want to burnish it and make sure it's sticking down. You know, anytime I use something like that, I'm always using my bone folder. So, and yes, bone folders, you have to have that. Let's see. Melissa, my sister, guess what is in here? She had a problem. Now, you know, once in a while, you come across a dud or a lemon. She got one of these at Christmas because I use mine all the time, my heat tool from Ranger. It's not an embosser. You don't use it with embossing powder. I use it all the time to dry ink when I've been ink blending, and you know, and to dry watercolor cardstock. You guys who are with me every Thursday, I use it constantly. Melissa got one for Christmas and it overheated on her. So I said, send it back, and you have to get another one because I love mine. This is minor but major too. And a lot of you guys know a lot of these things. But you know, when I think of my favorite things, I can't overlook my mono sand eraser. You need this if you make smudges on your paper. You need it, and I use mine all the time. Catherine Puller the other day, this was interesting. Her cutter didn't cut a straight edge, and so she used it along the side to smooth out her paper, and I thought that was a great idea. I use mine all the time, so had to put that one on there. This is my new find, probably one of my new favorite things, I have to tell you. If you have not tried Catherine Puller stamping blocks, they should be called Catherine Puller life-changing stamping acrylic blocks, because they are. I know it sounds silly, but look, they have a rounded edge, they have a grid on them, and you guys, these are heavy. These are heavy, which is a good thing when you're stamping, because you need that weight to just naturally put your stamp down on the paper perfectly. And every time I order now, I'm adding at least 1 or 2 of the round or these little square ones, because I love to be able to have all my blocks out on the table. And I even used this longer one, you know, for a big sentiment the other day, and they're amazing. I have to tell you, if you haven't used them, you need them. Yes, Linda says they're awesome. Christy says they're awesome. They really are. And because of that, I have to tell you, I just got my Catherine Pooler shipment today that I ordered right after Christmas so I could get that awesome die. And I ordered 2 of these round ones, and guess what I added to the first giveaway? One of the new round ones. I love them so much. I want to share them with you guys. Everybody knows about these, my life-changing blender brushes. I love them. They put a nice, soft blend on your cardstock, and I use mine so much. And Catherine Pooler does sell these also. They're from Picket Fence Studio. You can get them there also. You can get them from Ellen Hudson and Simon Says Stamp. By the way, you guys, here's my big shout out for Ellen Hudson. I love Ellen Hudson because she's in Washington, I'm in Ohio, and her shipping, I'm not kidding, I can order something, let's say on Monday, and I almost always get it by Wednesday. I don't know what she does, but her shipping is amazing. And there are times I can't find things somewhere else, and then I'll think, oh, I gotta go look at Ellen's, and Ellen will have stuff in stock. So shout out to Ellen Hudson. And so life-changing blender brushes, you can get them, they're from Picket Fence Studio, you can get them from Catherine Pooler. I will tell you, let me say this quickly. Lots of people try to say, oh, I can get them on Amazon and they're cheaper. I'm going to tell you right now, I ordered cheaper ones just to try and compare. Now, I try to be very honest with you. I have not sat down and done a one-to-one comparison as far as ink blending, but there is a difference right away when you take them out of the package as to how they look. I can see a difference and I can feel a difference. The Picket Fence Studio brushes are, the bristles come straight down from the handle, and they're very compact and tight in how they sit in the brush. The cheap ones that I bought from Amazon, they kind of flare out the bristles, and I don't know that it makes a difference. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Like I said, I have not tried a one-to-one comparison. I've used them just a little bit, and the bristles are not as tightly put together on the brush like the Picket Fence Studio is. So I don't know how it really affects. I just tend to keep going back to these automatically. But I will tell you, just visually and how they feel, they're different. And Linda says it's not the same. The cheap ones aren't flexible. So she's saying, I'm not sure what you mean about flexible. Missy says, Missy, girlfriend, I'm telling you, I'm always honest with you guys. And I have to tell you, I have some new products that I could have shared, but I'm not certain yet that they're completely a favorite. So I wasn't sharing them because I want to be always as honest as I can with everyone. On the note of blending, I love my blender brushes, but I have to tell you, they put down a very soft, well-blended coat of ink. When I am trying to throw down a bunch of ink and I want it blended, I bought these cheap makeup sponges. I think they're called Beakley from Amazon. And I use them, let me find a card. If you saw the Christmas card snowflakes that I posted not long ago from Catherine Pooler, I used these new sponges to throw down a bunch of ink pretty quickly. And I have to tell you, I was so impressed that I put them on this list because you can squeeze them and you blend the ink, and they blended beautifully, and they laid down a lot of ink quickly, and I really liked them. One disclaimer, they did leave a little tiny bit of residue from the foam, but All I did was wipe it away with a cloth or my hand. No big deal. It didn't leave any ink scuffs, nothing. The little tiny bit of residue, it did not bother me at all. And it was so minor that, you know, I had to put these on here because they're so cheap from Amazon, and really, and honestly, I liked using these by far better than my Ranger blending tool. I'm just saying. Okay, so that's why they made the list, because they blended beautifully. Okay, these are so special. I did not even want to sit them down in my little tub of the way I have everything organized. And my sister will know what I mean, because she's the one who first turned me on to these. But they're so special and so expensive that I kept them to the side so that they were sitting beautifully, because they're the silver black velvet watercolor brushes. They are an investment, but if you do any watercoloring, and I'm not an expert by any means, my sister is fabulous, Made for Creativity, Melissa Made. Go find her. She does a lot of watercoloring. She's taking a lot of classes. These brushes, you guys know, if you have the right tools, just like good acrylic blocks, if you have the right inks, if you're going to watercolor, you need good watercolor paper. I recommend Arches. It's going to be on my blog, but I didn't put it in my favorite paper. You need good brushes, you need good paper, and I love these silver black velvet brushes. You can get them at Simon Says Stamp. I just checked. They're there. You can get them at Amazon. They're a lot of money, but they're beautiful brushes, and that's why I'm working to take care of them, because if you see my craft table, a lot of times I will just grab whatever brush and I do something with it, and then it doesn't get washed out. But these, yeah, don't leave them you wouldn't want to leave them sitting in water. You baby these and take care of these after you make the investment here. Hi, Daniel's joining us. Thank you so much for stopping in. Yes, and Brittany says I do too. Brittany, pulling those off the Velcro, they stay there because that's what they're made to do, but I get tired of it, and honestly, those makeup sponges, I loved them. So black velvet watercolor brushes, worth the investment. And take care of them, because you don't want to buy them again. So that's why mine were sitting to the side. One more thing in my favorite crafty tools. You guys are going to laugh out loud. And this is new for me. Is my Harbor Freight Airbrush compressor. And if you do any kind of alcohol ink, you need this, because no more blowing through a straw and breathing in all that alcohol ink smell. This is an airbrush compressor, and all you need it to do is blow ink around. I don't have it plugged in tonight. I have a video on my YouTube channel, and we created, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know where my card is. An alcohol ink background, and we used a Lavinia stamp, Sebastian the Seahorse, and it made my top 10. If you saw my top 10 list, this is, my husband went and found it for me at Harbor Freight. It was $89, which is cheaper than almost any other air compressors. And you guys, it does, I love the real soft, wispy look of alcohol inks. And you know, when the colors separate and they fan out and it looks so ethereal, this is what you need if you want to learn alcohol inks and you want to do it and make it look like a piece of art that you can hang on your wall. And I love this. I need to keep practicing. I haven't practiced in a while. Andre says, does it work with multiple brands of alcohol markers? Andre, I don't use the alcohol markers with it. I use Yupo paper, a little bit of blending solution, 91% isopropyl alcohol, and it blows the air. All you're doing with this is using it to blow the alcohol around on the paper. It blows the air, and this is not very big, Missy. This is I'll measure it for you. It's so little, and it sits on the floor. It doesn't sit on your table because it's got such a long hose. It is not even probably 11 inches from one end to the other, and it sits about 6 inches, 6.5 inches high. So it's not very big because this is not a big space right here that I have to show you. It sits on the floor. It's got a long cord and it blows the ink around. Go look for my video where you with Sebastian. If you want the long video, it's like an hour and something, and it really shows the process. And the short video has it really sped up, and you can see, and I'll show you the card in a little bit, but it's also on my YouTube. There's a video and on my blog.